Yo! What in the complete hell is going on, Americans? Jericho Green here with you once again. Before I get started, I want to give a couple shout outs. My man Christian from Canada. Thanks a lot, hoser. And shout out to another YouTuber's name's Black Bigot. The dude is good. Check him out. So, Alabama. Sweet home Alabama. Holy shit. People have been losing their minds. So Tuesday, they passed a bill that pretty much outlaws abortion. And it was signed into law. I'm not sure whether it was Tuesday or yesterday. It was signed into law. And the left is losing their fucking minds. You know that saying, you're judged by the company you keep? Well, that goes for issues as well. If there's a certain issue, you can look at who's against it, who's mad about it, who's flipping out, who's just going way overboard with their reaction. You look at who's doing that, and that'll tell you how to feel about that issue. That'll let you know how crazy and how stupid that shit is. And this is no exception. You have the usual suspects, the Holly weirdos. At the forefront, the captain of the USS, stupid as fuck, Alyssa Milano, John Legend, even Lady Gaga. Look, if Gaga is in your fucking name, I'm not coming to you for anything serious. Anything outside of like candy and strip clubs, I don't give a fuck what you think because there is Gaga in your name. And of course, Chuck Schumer, one half of Shalosi. Oh, the Alabama government, this is unconstitutional. It should be struck down by the courts. Planned Parenthood, look at that. That lets you know what this is about right there. Of course Planned Parenthood is against this. You're taking money away from us. You're taking body parts for us to sell on the black market. You're taking food out of our mouths. You're taking wayward girls out of our waiting rooms. And women. And I shouldn't say that. Nothing's every or all. But the overwhelming majority of these clowns are saying the same thing. What about rape and incest? What about rape and incest? Rape and incest. Rape and incest. Well, pregnancy through rape and incest are extremely rare. But this is what they do with these situations. They go for the emotions. They tug at your heartstrings. What if it was your daughter? Most teenage girls, most young girls don't get pregnant. It's rare. Pregnancy through rape and incest is even more rare. It hardly ever happens. But they have to go to the extreme to get people on board with this bullshit. There are people saying Bernie Sanders, that little shriveled blue-haired piece of shit, said abortion is a human right. Murder is not a human right. Don't we have laws against that shit? Why it doesn't apply to the most vulnerable is beyond me. You can't tell a woman to do with her body. That's not her body. It's not about her body. It's about what's inside her body. And what about the men? What about the men that get them pregnant? What about their say-so? What if they don't want you to abort the fucking baby? All men aren't, oh shit, you pregnant? No, get rid of that shit. That's not all men. But men are never spoken of in these situations. It's all about the woman. Well, guess what? If you have a kitchen with all the state-of-the-art equipment, stainless steel this and that, Sub-Zero this, flat top that, great. If you have no food in that kitchen to prepare, all your fancy equipment is just a fucking paperweight. Do you see what I'm saying? Men are half of the equation. You have nothing in your sacred body without a man. And if your body is so sacred and important to you, why the fuck would you let some dude go inside of you and not want the fucking baby, not want the result of it? Why don't you take some responsibility? That's how they take responsibility away from us. Oh, it's because it's the poor. You're affecting the poor and the colored. Just because you're poor does not mean you need to have fucking babies. And if you are poor, if you are in a poverty-stricken area, why are you having a fucking baby? If you can barely afford to keep yourself alive and your own lights on, why are you creating another human? Why are you creating another mouth to feed? That doesn't make any sense to me. If you're living a poor life, don't bring another person into your fucked up situation. Well, if you're poor, you gotta commit crime. Bullshit. More taking responsibility away. Just because you're poor does not mean you need to go out and commit crime. I've been broke. I've been hungry before. You don't see me sticking up liquor stores or selling dope. That's a bullshit cop-out. Oh, you're poor? You gotta do stupid shit. No. That's an excuse. That's how they get you to rely on them and believe in them. Come here. Oh, come here, poor little colored girl. It's because of your socioeconomic situation that you got pregnant. Come here. Here, girl. Suck on this engorged, veiny, federal tit. Let's get you on that cradle-to-grave system. Come here, little colored boy. It's not your fault. The man put that gun in your hand. The man made you shoot that other 15-year-old in his fucking face for a pair of shoes. That's not your fault. Come here. Here, take some of this. Get some of this engorged this veiny federal tit. Look at that milk. Look at that EBT dripping out the nipple. Come get some. It's not your fault that you got pregnant. It's the system's fault. Come here. Get on this federal titty. Bullshit. If you're not ready to have a kid, you need to take other steps. Now let's be real. People say, well, there's abstinence. Most people aren't going to do that. They're just not. There are other steps. There's contraceptive. There's birth control. They got all kinds of shit you can do instead of walking in there and have them kill your kid. And that's what it is. So Alabama said no. Georgia too. Alabama's a little more strict. They said no abortions unless it threatens the mother's life or unless the child has some life-threatening issue. That's it. Rape and incest, you could take those two bullshit talking points and throw them out the window. That's not the norm. That's called anecdotal evidence. It's not the norm. 90% of abortions are performed because I don't want it. I'm not ready. Nah, that's why. That's how insensitive we've become to babies. I don't want it. I know this girl, she said, I've had 2 abortions. I don't give a fuck. What? And I said, why? Oh, because the guy I was with, I wasn't ready to have a baby with him. He was a piece of shit. So, it was a surprise to you that he was a piece of shit? Just one day he woke up, fuck it, I'm an asshole. Or did you have signs before? Oh, I knew before. Well, then why'd you let him skeet up inside of you with no protection, you fucking dummy? But they always go to the extreme. Or rape, incest, shut the fuck up. That's not what we're dealing with here. And since 1973, since Roe v. Wade, there's been almost 20 million black babies aborted. Abortion is the #1 cause of death for black people. But you got all these black celebrities and politicians talking about it's a woman's body. Who am I to tell her? I'll tell you who I am. I'm the one that put the baby inside of you. How do you just gloss over 50% of the equation? How do you just dismiss the man? Thank you for coming out, sir. No pun intended, coming out. Or coming in, I guess. But they just dismiss the man. It's the woman's. It's all her. It's her baby. I'm carrying this thing. It's my baby. Wrong. And then when the baby comes out, who are you chasing down for child support? Don't give me that bullshit. I understand men don't carry and nurture life. I get that. But there's no life for you to nurture without the man. So let's not forget that. Let's not just sweep the men's opinion under the rug. We have a say-so as well. And snuffing out a baby is not the way to go. Don't get pregnant in the first place. But you can always tell what's going on by who is against it. And there you go. The usual suspects. Lady Gaga. Bitch, shut the fuck up. I don't want to hear what you have to say when your name is Gaga. What kind of silly shit is this? And having kids, I couldn't imagine my wife getting pregnant and then we go somewhere and have it terminated. What do you mean terminated? Are you losing your job? Let's call it what it is. I'm not even going to describe to you what an abortion procedure is like. Look it up. It's pretty disgusting and awful. The way they dismember the baby and take it out. The shit is disgusting. Good for you, Alabama. Now, unfortunately, I know this silly fucking clown-ass fun mirror land called California that I live in would never do something like that. And of course, you know what they had to do. People never underestimate TDS, Trump Derangement Syndrome. Of course they had to tie it to Trump. Of course they had to connect it to the Fuhrer. One article said, well, since Trump took office, here we go. What do you mean? Since Trump took office, people are actually starting to do the right thing? If that's what you mean, yes. But you're going to blame this on Trump somehow? Is he the fucking governor of Alabama? No. Now, hopefully the courts can't do anything about this because it's on a state level and Roe v. Wade is a federal thing. I don't know. But when they said the South will rise again, brother, they meant it. In a good way this time. So I support it. I think Alabama's doing the right thing. If you don't like my feelings on that, I don't know what the fuck to tell you. But that's the way I feel. We shouldn't be so nonchalant about killing kids. How did we get here? 33% of the abortions in this country are performed on one group of people, and they're less than 10% of the population. What's up with that? Black women account for more than 300,000 abortions every year. How is that not? All you pieces of shit out of the other side of your mouth talking about people of color, women of color, color of color, 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 color. You don't give a shit about the most colored motherfuckers in this country. You don't give a shit about black people. You don't give a shit about black children. Stop that shit. If you're gonna be who you are, be who the fuck you are. Don't lie to me. Oh, I care. You don't give a fuck. You don't care when they're snuffed out 300,000 plus a year. Man, please. You know where I'm going. I'm hopping in this damn rat race. But you know how it goes. I try to be done with the left, but they just won't let me. Please, subscribe, hit that notification bell. Follow your boy on the Twitters @Green_Jericho. Utilize the PayPal link. I am Jericho Green. Man, I'm out.